Now we're in one of the most incredible verses in the whole New Testament. Just before we begin with verse 14, let's do a quick review of verse 13. الَّذِينَ وُلِدُوا لَيْسَ مِن دَمٍ, those who were born not from blood, وَلَا مِن مَشِيئَةِ جَسَدٍ, nor from the will of the flesh, وَلَا مِن مَشِيئَةِ رَجُلٍ, nor from the will of man, بَل مِن Allah, but from God. That is, they were born from God. Verse 14, we'll read it first, and then we'll read it part by part with some grammar notes. وَالْكَلِمَةُ صَارَ جَسَدًا وَحَلَّ بَيْنَنَا وَرَأَيْنَا مَجْدَهُ مَجْدًا كَمَا الْوَحِيدِ مِنَ الْآبِ مَمْلُوءًا نِعْمَةً وَحَقًّا. One more time, a little slower. وَالْكَلِمَةُ صَارَ جَسَدًا وَحَلَّ بَيْنَنَا وَرَأَيْنَا مَجْدَهُ مَجْدًا كَمَا الْوَحِيدِ مِنَ الْآبِ مَمْلُوءًا نِعْمَةً وَحَقًّا. Let's jump into this incredible verse. John begins verse 14. وَالْكَلِمَةُ صَارَ جَسَدًا وَحَلَّ بَيْنَنَا. Right off the bat, we should note that he doesn't begin with a verb. So he's putting al-kalima right up front. It's customary to have a verb begin a section. So when a noun begins a section, we should note that the author is making emphasis here. وَالْكَلِمَةُ صَارَ جَسَدًا. So it's not just saying صَارَ جَسَدًا الْكَلِمَةُ or صَارَ الْكَلِمَةُ جَسَدًا, both of which would work. He's saying وَالْكَلِمَةُ صَارَ جَسَدًا وَحَلَّ بَيْنَنَا. We should note that this kalima, that صَارَ جَسَدًا, is the same kalima we've had from the very beginning of verse 1 and of time. فِي الْبَدْءِ كَانَ الْكَلِمَةُ. This is the same kalima that was in the bed, and that was كَانَ عند Allah, that was with God, that was Allah. كان الكلمة الله. This is also the same kalima بغيره لم يكن شيء مما يكان, without which nothing that is was. This is the same kalima that فيه كانت الحياة والحياة كانت نور الناس. The same kalima that had life in it, that was the light of man that shines in the world. Verses 6 through 13 took us on a little detour describing John and how he bore witness to the light. But now we're going right back to the word that was in the beginning. What did the word do? The verb of this sentence here is صار. صار is third masculine singular. It's weak with an aleph in the middle. It's actually a ya in the middle that became an aleph. And it is he became. صار. And we have the same issue that we had from verse 1. Kalima, though feminine, is being treated here as masculine because al-kalima is فعلا Allah, is actually Allah. وَالْكَلِمَةُ صَارَ became jasadan. Jasadan here, jasad means flesh. Jasadan takes on the aleph so as to be indefinite and accusative. The tanween here, that is a fathatain, would not work without the added aleph, showing us that it's the accusative or object of the verb صار. وَحَلَّ بَيْنَنَا, and halla. Halla is our verb here. It doesn't look like a verb unless you were thinking what was part of the verb. It's not. Actually, this is ha lam lam. He dwelt or abided or inhabited bainana, among us. Notice that we don't have a shadda here. We have two noons back to back. Next clause. وَرَأَيْنَا مَجْدَهُ مَجْدًا كَمَا الْوَحِيدٍ مِنَ الْآبِ. What's the verb here? رَأَيْنَا. If you're trying to dissect this, of course you can pull wa off of the front, and we can also pull off the noon aleph from the end. That's a first common plural perfect verb. So all we're left with is the root here, ra, hamza, ya. That ya would become an aleph maksur, or broken aleph, if it were he saw, ra. But here it's ra'ina, we saw. What did we see? Majdahu. Notice that we have fatha on the end of majda, and then the hu on the end, his glory. Majd is glory, majdahu, his glory. But then John will describe his glory even further, saying it's majdan kama al-wahidin min al-ab. So we saw his glory, and then the double fatha on the end of majdan shows that it's picking up as the second object. So not only ra'ina majdahu, ra'ina majdan kama al-wahidin min al-ab. We saw glory as kama. Ka is a common prefix to many different nouns saying as or like. This is kama, like that which, not to be confused with the negating particle ma. Kama, like or as, just as. لِوَحِيدٍ مِنَ الْآبِ. Here, you know the word wahid. Wahid means only, not one. Wahid. The lam on the front means that which is two. So we saw his glory. Glory like what is to the only لوحيد من الآب. Of course, the kasratain on the end of لوحيد is kasra because of the lam من الآب, of the Father, like the only one from the Father. Al-Ab has a kasra here on the end because it's following a preposition min. Now he's going to take the second time to describe what we saw. رأينا مجده. Firstly, that was رأينا مجدا كما الوحيد من الآب, but also رأينا مجدا مملوءا نعمة وحق. So this glory was مملوءا with نعمة وحق. مملوء is tricky here. This is the adjective from the root mim lam hamza ملأ, which would mean he filled. Here it's that which is filled. نعمة, grace. Of course, grace is what it is being filled with, so it's in the accusative with the double fatha, fathatain, and haqqan. Haqq is truth. The aleph is added here so as to support tanween or fathatain on the end. This glory was filled with grace and with truth. And of course, this is such an incredible verse because not only has John already said that the kalima kana عند Allah and that kana al-kalimatu Allah, this is not ambiguous because we already know that through the kalima, kullu shay'in bihi kan, everything that was through him. وبغيره لم يكن شيء مما كان, and that nothing was without the word. So we know the word is already unambiguously God. What's incredible here is that the word صار جسدا وحل بيننا ورأينا مجده. And what was for na or for us? نعمة وحق.